to Lake City Adventures. This is going to be a follow-up video today. Hope everybody's doing good today. This is going to be a follow-up video to the video I posted a couple weeks ago about troubleshooting our off-grid solar system and some of the issues that we were having with our batteries. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it down below. The bottom line is that we have a 1200 watt solar system feeding twin charge controllers that feed a 12 volt battery bank that operates a mine tour business. And we were having problems with our batteries crashing. And so in the last video, we did a whole bunch of troubleshooting and essentially identified that the batteries were not holding a charge. And as soon as they got put under load, their voltage went down to nothing and everything shut down due to low voltage. So as I said in the last video, I reached out to Windy Nation, the company that I've worked with forever and I love those guys. And they were willing to ship me 2 new replacement batteries because 2 of the batteries that we had before, 2 out of the 6, measured just dead. So we got 2 new batteries and they arrived today. And then we're also awaiting on our Amazon delivery of a new device called a desulfator. And we're going to try to recover the other 4 batteries and get up and running again with a 6 battery bank. So let me show you the new batteries that just came by UPS today. Ta-da! Here they are. They're stupid heavy. So these are non-spillable, absorbent glass matte sealed lead acid batteries produced by Windy Nation. Batamax, 12 volt. You can see the voltage specs there. And 12 volt, 100 amps, 100 amp hours each. So there they are, 2 of them stacked. We're gonna load these into the car and we're gonna head up to the generator shack. So right now I have the 4 batteries connected to the solar system, the 4 that were still kind of functional. Really, there was 1 functional one and 3 that were not very good. I'm gonna take all 4 of those off. I'm gonna install these 2 and let them sit on the solar for a day so they can fully charge up, top off, get to their float voltage. And then we're gonna run the same tests on these 2 brand new batteries and see how they do running a 700 watt heater, how long they're gonna last. And then we're gonna bring the old 4 batteries down here, try to condition them back up to a functional status, and then take them back up to the shack and install all 6 together and see how it goes. So today, minor, easy project. Just take these 2 up to the mine, disconnect the old 4 batteries, connect these 2 new batteries, and let them charge. I want to let them charge for a full day before I do any testing, just to make sure that they're fully charged, so it's a fair test. So let's load them up. All right, guys, so we're heading up the road towards the mine and the generator shack, and I just had to stop and show you this. It's been raining all day, and it rained like crazy this morning with thunder and lightning and a good thunderstorm. Look at the river. This is a full-on Willy Wonka chocolate river. It is so muddy and brown just from all the runoff coming down from the storm and the rain. Pretty cool. All right, we're on the way up. We made it up here, but there's no way that this car is going up that hill. So we got to move the batteries to the truck so we can actually get it up there. Up they go. Cleared it, no problem. My car can make it to about here. And then there's a serious kind of leveling out here. I think it was pretty sure it would bottom out. All right, so we've made it up to the generator shack. New batteries are here. These are the dead batteries. So let's open up these batteries and see what it looks like. If I can do this while recording here. Somebody already tore the tape off. We're gonna open them up. Got a little packing slip. Again, Windy Nation was so awesome and nice enough to send me these for no charge. So here's the posts that they send with you. So they send with 2 kind of average size M8 bolts, lock washer and ring washers. And then also just connectors if you do install this in a vehicle situation. Just gonna put those over to the side. Nice padding, silica packet. And then lift with the feet, or lift with the legs and not the back. Okay. There it is. So let's get them all the way out. Remember from the last video, I put some duct tape labels, so I'm gonna label these right away so I know which ones are new. And then we're gonna disconnect all 4 of these batteries and take them downtown along with these 2 dead ones and try to recover them with the desulfator. And we're gonna hook up these 2 new batteries just in a 200 amp hour battery bank system to the solar, let them charge all the way up, and then do a load test on them tomorrow or the next day. So I'm gonna keep getting these all unpacked, and then we'll work on getting this battery bank disconnected. Here's the new batteries. They do ship them fully charged, which is nice. Hook this up to a voltmeter, and it reads 12.86 volts, which is, I think, 12.84 to 12.88, something like that. That ballpark is 100% charged. So they are fully charged, which is great. So pretty quick and easy. We got all 4 of those batteries cables disconnected. Got the battery cable sitting right here. This is just a 1/2-inch socket on these M8 bolts, so easy to remove. I made sure to disconnect the incoming charging current and make sure everything's disconnected from the inverter before you mess with this. So there's no actual current flowing through here, just 12 volts of the batteries themselves. So now I just gotta lug these batteries over here next to the dead ones to get ready to go downtown and get deconditioned. And then we'll put the new batteries up on the system and see what it says. So we got those batteries out. These charge controllers do come with these, and this is a temperature sensor. And so it's just got double-sided tape on it. It sticks to the battery and allows the charge controller to compensate its voltage for temperature. So we're just gonna use some duct tape to stick those to the new batteries so it still has accurate temperature sensing. All right, so we have reconnected the new battery bank. Hopefully you can tell it's wired in parallel, so negative to negative on this side and positive to positive in the back. And then we've staggered it. So those 2 smaller cables are the charging from each charge controller. So we're using the positive of the left battery and the negative of the right battery. And then the 2 big fat cables are the inverter cables, so positive of the right battery and negative of the left battery. So hopefully that means our charge is perfectly balanced on this bank, and we're not getting higher amperage on one battery versus the other. So this is all connected. What does it say we got? 13 volts, 90%. 13 volts is essentially 100% charged. So, I was gonna let this charge for a little while, but it's pretty much 100% charged. So I actually think I'm gonna go ahead and fire up this heater, and we're gonna do a little load test right now on these brand new batteries and see if it'll last longer than what we saw last time. So let's see. So if you guys didn't see the last video, how I'm doing this load test to see if these batteries are good. I mean, they're brand new. They should be good. I just want to get a baseline for what a brand new battery does compared to our old batteries. So the inverter, those big cables from the battery, they come up here. It's fused right there. So they come up here and power the inverter. And then this converts to AC power. And then I had this little temporary yellow extension cord so that I can use this guy, which is kilowatt. And that allows me to measure my wattage and amperage as well as kilowatt hours. So it keeps track of how much cumulative energy is being used over a certain time frame. And so right now we are at 118 volts. Should be no amps because the heater's turned off, and no watts. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here, we're gonna put our heater on low. We're gonna turn our heater on. We should see this ramp up to about 700 watts. That's what I saw before. 716, 715 watts. And our voltage drops down to 12.3, which is what happened before too on the older batteries, 12.2. And I think that's probably just, the drop that's expected because of the load on the system. And now we're gonna let it run for a little while and see if it plummets in voltage or if it can hold and run this. So this is a 200 amp hour battery bank at 12 volts. So 200 times 12 should be 2,400 watt hours. This is about 700 watts. So 2,400 divided by 700, it should be able to run this heater for more than 3 hours before fully discharging. Or, about an hour, hour and a half before it even runs down to 50%. So let's see how the voltage goes over time here. I'm gonna mark the time. Definitely so far so good situation. It's been in 5 minutes and we actually have gone up in voltage between 12.3 and 12.4. So that's what I'm hoping to see. 12.8, 12.9 is 100% charged, but when you apply a load to it, the voltage will drop just because there's a load on there. But it should then hold that voltage for as long as the battery, has capacity, which should be over 3 hours in this case. So I'm hoping we can run this for 30 minutes or so and see not much of a drop. Then I'll know that these batteries, now that's what we should see with good batteries. Whereas the other ones you saw, they failed within, if you watched the last video, you saw the worst batteries failed within 6 minutes, and the other batteries failed within 13, 17, 19 minutes. And by failed, I mean dropping all the way down to 11 volts, where you start getting low voltage alarms and the inverters are at risk of shutting down. I'm gonna be careful with these because these are brand new batteries. I don't wanna, drain them all the way down. Plus it's getting late in the afternoon and it's cloudy, so I don't have a whole lot of charging left today, but I'm gonna let it run for at least probably 20, 30 minutes and make sure it's holding, and then I'll know that this is what I should expect if the battery is good. All right, still holding good, still 12.3 to 12.4. It's been about 8 or 9 minutes. I just wanted to show this little battery box that we built. So I don't know if you can tell, but this is all insulation around the sides, the bottom, and the back. And then this is an insulated front. It's not on there right now because it's summertime, but these batteries do stay up here all winter. And I know you might be thinking, well, no wonder they failed. They stay 100% charged, at least they should. This solar array in the winter melts off really, really quickly. So even after storms, it melts off quickly, and you can see it several feet above the ground, so it doesn't get buried in snow. And so as long as the fuse doesn't blow or a charge controller doesn't fail, it should stay charged. And that's one nice thing about having 2 charge controllers, is even if one charge controller failed, I should still get half my solar array charging and keeping the panels fully charged. So that's really nice. So yeah, everybody tells me that as long as the batteries stay fully charged, they can be in sub-zero temperatures. But we created this little insulated area for the winter just to kind of try to keep them a little bit warmer, because they definitely generate their own heat while charging. So if you can keep them insulated, you can protect them a little bit. The general chemistry of a battery is that a colder temperature decreases its capacity, but increases its life, which is good for us. So having it up here in the cold in the winter, to me, is a good thing, because that'll actually protect the battery and have it last longer. And then we only use them in the summer when it's warmer. So we get the higher capacity when there's higher temperatures outside, but we get the benefit of the longer life from a battery that is kept cold all winter. So I've kind of wanted to leave them up here in the winter and not disconnect them and take them down. We could, but we do come up and fire up the mine every now and again in the winter to check on things or do maintenance or do a off-season tour. So we want to be able to have the capability to power the mine if needed. So anyway, I just wanted to show that insulation piece. We've done that at all of our cabins. And, again, I don't know, maybe that's why we're having a problem, but I still don't know why we had a problem with our first 6 batteries that are sitting right over here and nearly dead, or at least several of them are. Doesn't make sense to me. They're only 2 years old. I'm hopeful that the desulfating can fix them. That is supposed to arrive on Amazon tomorrow. So from what I read, it's going to take 2 to 3 days per battery. You just leave that thing on, and it does this kind of high current, high frequency pulse charging to try to desulfate the sulfur off the plates on the inside and get it back to a like new condition. So 6 batteries, or at least 4 batteries. These 2 I may try to recover but not use, but 4 batteries, 2 to 3 days, that's 8 to 12 days. So it's going to take 10, 12 days to fix these batteries before I can get them back up here and then put them back on this bank and try to see how it works as a 6 battery bank. I'm excited to try to desulfate these and then bring them up and test them like we did before, one at a time, to see if we got them all back up to a like new condition, or we just made them a little bit better, or we made no difference. That'll be interesting. They're all labeled, so I'll be able to look at the data, the numbers from the last video, and see how they performed the first time, and then we'll charge them all up to 100% and then try to test them each individually. Here comes the truck up the hill. You can hear this thing from a mile away. They're coming to check on me. Let's see if they can get over the hump. Of course they can. It's been running about 15 minutes so far, and the voltage has not changed at all. We are still 12.3 volts, right where it should be. And let's see, what time is it? Yeah, it's been almost 15 minutes. So far, 15 minutes, no voltage drop at all. That's what I want to see on these old batteries after we desulfate them, I hope. All right, it's been 25 minutes. We are still pulling 730 watts, went up a little bit for some reason. We've used a total of 0.31 kilowatt hours. And we are still hanging out right at 12.2, pretty much right where we started. So that's amazing. Our best test ever on the other batteries was about 29 minutes. And then I had to shut it down because it hit 11.5 volts. And so we're almost to that point right now. Now, this is 200 amp hour bank. That was a 100 amp hour bank, so not totally a fair test. But the point, I think, is that when these batteries are working correctly, they should be able to hold their voltage for quite a long time, powering this 700 watt load. You may remember at the very end of our last video, I actually connected 4 of these, the ones that are partially damaged, but the 4 best ones that we had, and created a 400 amp hour bank and then ran this test, and it failed in 15 minutes. So this is so much better than that. I'm so happy that clearly, you know, the issue is the batteries. Now the question remains is, can I fix the old ones? So we'll see. We're almost done here. I think I'm going to wrap up this particular video because this test is going great, and clearly the new batteries are awesome. I'll put on the screen below how long I went with this test and how low they actually dropped, just so that I am being transparent about my testing for those of you that care. And then the next video probably will be a couple weeks out because it's going to take me 10 or 12 days to desulfate those old batteries. So I'm going to do all of them down in town, and then I'm going to bring them all up and I'm going to test them one by one on a 100 amp bank, just a single battery, connect into the charge controller and run this load test again and see how they do, see if that made any difference. I'll be able to compare them directly before and after doing that desulfation procedure and see what kind of a difference it made. So stay tuned for that video. Thanks for joining me today. This should be kind of a short one just to give you an update. And thanks for watching Lake City Adventures. Like and subscribe if you enjoy our content, whether it be solar systems or batteries or home theaters or Disney World or Lake City or whatever it is. Half marathon training, which is awful, by the way, but we're doing it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks. All right, bonus footage. We're not done yet. So it's been almost 35 minutes. We're still 12.2, kind of occasionally showing 12.1. I think that's good enough for this test. I can tell it's going to hold its voltage just fine. So we're going to shut this down. Wattage went to 0. And I just wanted to see what the voltage on the batteries goes back up to after the load's off. And 12.6. It's pretty good. 12.6. So they are still 70% charged, 71% charged at 12.6. And it takes a while to equilibrate. So I bet if we let this sit here for a minute, it'll go back up to 12.7 and probably more like 75, 80%. So we used a total of 0.39 kilowatt hours out of a total predicted max of 2,400 watt hours or 2.4 kilowatt hours based on this battery bank size. So 40, about 1/6 of the battery bank, about 16% or so is what we should have used. That's going to be about right. 73, so it's kind of creeping up a little bit. So I think that's good. It is still taking a load too, because although I turned the load of the heater off, I did not turn the inverter off. It had just hit the temperature where the fan kicked on. It's cooling itself off. So I didn't want to turn the power up on the inverter until it cools itself down. I'll be willing to bet once the inverter's fan goes off, I'm going to turn that power off too, and this is going to go up another 0.1 at least. Final verdict is 12.7 volts, back up to nearly 80% with 35 minutes of running a 700 watt load. Super happy with that. New batteries act like they should act for new batteries. So now we have kind of a baseline about what the load should look like. And now we got to desulfate the rest and see how it goes. All right, so this is actually the end of the video. Thank you guys for joining. Hopefully this is somewhat interesting, just a little bit of an update on this testing process. And we'll see how it goes. I'm going to desulfate throughout the next week. And maybe I'll show you that for sure. I'll show you some footage for what that looks like and how to connect it and what the meter shows and all that. I've never used that thing before, so we'll see how it goes. And then we'll bring the new batteries up here, and let's hope we have a new system that's good to go. That's my hope. Now we have 1,200 watt panels instead of 800 watts too. So I'm hopeful this is good for years to come after all this work. So thanks guys. We'll see you next time.